everyone, and welcome to my beginner pottery channel. My name is Nicole and I've been doing pottery for about 9 to 10 months now. Today I'm going to show you my pottery journal. This is where I record pieces that I've made, what I've learned and any other useful information. Let's have a look. Okay, so here it is. This is an Archer and Olive journal. It's A5 and dotted. I've been using it for pottery, but I've also been doing bullet journaling outside of pottery as well as a planner. And bullet journaling was developed by writer Carol, so if you're interested in that, check out his information. It's quite useful, but the idea is that you kind of have blank pages and fill them in as you go. There's lots of channels on YouTube who have beautiful work in them, but this one's a little messier because it's my pottery journal and I kind of fill it in while I'm in class or when I've got home from class, and just jot down any ideas. So let's just jump right in, shall we? So this might need. This is my lovely cover page. This is probably the nicest part of the journal. And under there is an index, but you don't need to see that. All right, so this is when I first started. I wasn't quite sure what I was doing. I just knew that I wanted to remember what pieces I had made in class and actually plan for glazing and trimming in the weeks to come. So I've written the information down of what studio I went to, the dates, stuff like that, and the topic, and what firing temperature my studio was doing. And yeah, so this was my first idea, was to just sketch in the pieces that I had made and glaze ideas and who it was for, and also just putting some underglaze ideas down just to get it out of my head as like a brain dump, so that I wasn't thinking about it all night when I'm trying to go to sleep. Here again, my first attempt at recording things about pottery, noting what happened in trimming week, where I had cracks, reflections on what I liked, what I didn't like, things I needed to improve on. Also noting down the glaze week, how many pieces I had, also to know to be able to collect them from class, because sometimes you forget what you've made, and what glazes I was planning on using, and also coming back and writing down what glaze I actually did use on the day, because it may not have been there, or I just changed my mind, because that happens. Alright, term 5, here's where things get a little nicer. I've got my inspiration page and writing down some goals and ideas and questions that I have. Again, all very good for getting things out of my mind onto the page, and so I don't stay up all night thinking about it. So I knew this term we would be doing bottles, so again I went on Pinterest and had a look at bottle shapes and sketched them down, because when I'm in class I find that your mind just kind of goes blank and you're like, okay, so what piece am I going to throw now? What shape is this going to be? I need some inspiration, but there's nothing there in your head. So this came in very helpful for that. I had some more interesting designs and some simple ones, and I could just, have a pick over my shoulder and say, oh, okay, I want to make that. And here we've got week 1. This is how I've been continuing to record my information, is writing down what clay I've used, the topic of that class, what I've been doing that class. So we've got throwing the date, what pieces I made. It's all, you can see, very scrappy because I've written that down as I've got clay on my hands. Hopefully the shrinkage of the clay, but I didn't actually know because this one was reclaimed. Any notes and pictures of the pieces that I made if I took them in class, or a sketch if I forgot, which we will see later. As you can see, I've written some glaze ideas down next to the pieces. I would probably also write down some dimensions, but I do have that up top and I haven't labelled them with numbers. After trimming week, I do come back and start picking glazes on these pages, just to see what pieces have made it through the drying process and haven't cracked. I may have discarded them. You can see some lovely clay fingerprints here, especially here. Also, you can see I've got information about projects that I'd like to accomplish, where like making a keep cup or a travel mug with shrinkage rates and calculations and the formula for that. So another just a bit of useful information. Okay, so this is just like a brain dump kind of spread. I've written down things that I would like to make. Also, I was thinking about underglazes and specific people in my life to maybe make a cup or a mug for them with their birth flower on it, but I haven't done that yet, so might have to come back to this one, but here it is all written down for me. Okay, so on to week 2 for this term, and you can see I've got more pictures here. I've also got what my particular studio does in each type of class, just so more information. And you can see with this week too, I've written down some information about where I've had cracks or why things happened, just as a reflection, so I can come back and learn from it. I'll go, why didn't that work out? Or why did it work out? Some information, brainstorming whether I should do pottery at home or doing independent classes, and trimming week. I've gone back from week 1 and 2 and got the pieces down here and written what kind of foot I've trimmed in, or again, any notes, or if I've done any underglaze. Notes like that, just again, just brainstorming, brain dumping, all onto the page. Here I've got some underglazes that I purchased and writing some notes with them. So here we've got pink that has lost colour in mid-fire, which is quite typical of pinks and purples. They burn out at higher temperatures. But also we've got a positive note, on the red, that it is pretty good. So as you can see, I haven't used all of the colours yet, but I do have some notes, and also some messy notes about other brands that I bought and some ideas going forward. Okay, so again, still term 5, where I've got notes, about things that have failed and why they failed and what my teacher has said about them. You can see it's not very tidy, but again, it's really helpful, I find. Again, I've got glaze ideas written down. I've got some pictures this time for inspiration and more planning going on here. And noting what colours are coming up for glazing. And week 7 was the end of this term, and noting down again what glazes I put on what piece, and also some results, how they went. Okay, so term 6, again the information, I've added goals here and what I want to focus on for this term. Again, the keep cups coming back. Again, so you can see a similar pattern, that I've got the pictures and notes about the pictures, and sometimes I've come back, so it's not just been written in week 1. I've come back and said, hey, make the thumb mark higher in this thumb cup, and I try to note down the amount of clay that I've used, the weight of it. Some more inspiration pages. See, this time I didn't take pictures, so I just sketched terribly the pieces that I made that week. These are inspiration pictures and what I actually did. Got some measurements down here. So again, finishing this term off, got the glazing and what I did, some inspiration. Next term, my aims, goals and reflection. Here is information that I did at a casual studio, again taking pictures of the pieces that I made and what I did on those days. Also reviewing places that I've been to, whether it vibed with me or not. Some more inspiration, brain dumps, brainstorming, wish lists for things that I'd like to buy, which should be miles long probably. Making notes on different studios and what they offer. Clay that I've purchased and their information, so their shrinkage, their absorption, their firing temperatures. Also got some kiwi underglazes here. I don't have their swatches, but I haven't tested them either, so that will be for future reference. some information about reclaiming clay, which I haven't done before, but if I do some casual open studio access, I'm going to have to. Information on glazes that I've purchased, so I already own these two, and their firing range, how to use them, information about emails and their food safety. And this here is very much me brain dumping, putting things down on paper so it's just not floating around in my head and I'm losing sleep over it. I just say, okay, this is my plan for now. I just write it down and decorate it a little bit. And I may not stick to it, but again, I've just put it out of my brain onto the page. So it's good for mindfulness, which is really great. And one of the big benefits of bullet journaling. Some information that I got from Carolee Ford, and more firing information, another Pottery Studio information, more ideas, and some sketches. This is actually pieces I haven't made yet, so I'm sketching what I would like to make in Casual Studio. So I'm moving towards having more of a plan and more intention when I throw, so I can get pieces that I love afterwards, because at the moment I have a lot of pieces that I'm not too happy with, but that's okay. It's all part of the learning process. And here I'm getting ready for term 1 of this year and got some blank pages ready to go. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.